Camacho, and then Lori Mayfield is in the cleanup circle. So, Andy, please join us. Thank you.
Assessor Alice Trips, Mr. Best.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And please state your name, whom you represent.
It's a redhead thing, I think. My name is Andy Turner. I am proud to be the Legislative Director for the Texas State Rifle Association. As I sat there and rewrote all my talking points, what occurred to me was everybody who's come up here in favor of this bill has said, I'm an LTC instructor, I have an LTC, I've been trained, I'm in the military. This is not about new gun owners. This is a right restored. This is about people who believe that this is a right that should never have been taken away from them. I mean, we've talked about 20 other states, and we know that Vermont has never outlawed this. They don't have the blood in the streets that we're hearing is going to happen. We're not hearing about this in 20 other states, these problems. Frankly, your neighbor 3 doors down who doesn't own a gun isn't going to go running to the gun store because permitless carry. I saw a John Wayne movie. I can carry. It's not going to happen. I mean, frankly, if they're running to the gun store, they're running because of what's going on in D.C., in my opinion. The question was asked a long time ago about how do we enforce this? And the answer is the same way you enforce long gun open carry. Okay, so, and I just wanted to make sure that got answered. My military director was not able to be here. I know that we had some wonderful veterans here, but he wanted me to make some other points that they didn't get a chance to bring up. The military spouse is most often also working while the military member is preparing to deploy and does not have the time to take an LTC class prior to the member's deployment. Thus, the military member deploys, leaving the family back at home so they can go defend our Constitution. And the spouse may protect the family at home and in the vehicle, but not outside the home and the vehicle. And I have other things, but I'll discuss later.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Schwartner, and then we'll come to Senator Lucio.
Thank you. Thank you for the testimony. You mentioned enforcement. It would be how do you enforce it, the same as how you enforce long gun open carry. Can you expand on that for me, please?
So, long gun open carry is a proud Texas tradition from the very start of the state, yes? Okay. So, if you are law enforcement and you see someone long gun open carrying, do you stop them? I mean, what do they do? What is their process? It's the same process. It would be, should the bill pass. It is no different, whether it's a long gun or a short gun. So, I mean, I was having this discussion with my husband last night, and I said, frankly, if you see somebody acting a little squirrely and you're a police officer, maybe they're walking around at 3 o'clock in the morning in front of, I don't know, a closed up liquor store or something, yeah, maybe they want to ask a question, but it's the same process. So that's, without getting into law enforcement policies, because they differ from place to place, that would be my general answer.
I appreciate your testimony.
Sure,
Thank you.
of course.
Senator Lucio, you had a question for the witness.
I wasn't going to ask questions. I'm just listening to the testimony, but you said something that concerns me. Did you say that our rights to bear arms have been taken away? You said that.
I said our right restored. So,
well, when did we lose them?
When you took away the right to carry permitless, when you require whatever year you were required to obtain a permit.
The U.S. Constitution, makes sure that we have the right to bear arms.
Sir?
We bear arms at home. We bear arms actually in
yes,
cars. So along the way, I never thought that I had been taking my right away of having a gun.
Well, it's not about having the gun, right? The whole
owning a gun.
Well, it's not about owning the gun either, right? The whole purpose of this bill is carrying, right? So at the point where the state...
But you stated something else. You didn't state that. Carry, you said our rights to have a gun were taken away.
Yes, because at the date where the legislature decided that Texans needed a permit to carry, they took away the right to bear arms. They
No, we can
infringed
still bear-
upon that
but
right.
We can still bear arms, even if they.
Under certain circumstances
course,
and
at home.
only
In the
and-
car.
in the car, on your own property. But for instance, I was here for the 20-hour marathon hearing. I don't know, was that a month ago? It feels like it was. And left here at 5:30 and had to walk over to the visitor center. And because I carry under Utah, I could not carry into this building. Okay, that's another story for another day. But I had to walk over there by myself, and because I'm not legal to bring in this building, so I couldn't bring it with me to come testify. And it's 5:30 in the morning in the middle of downtown Austin, and I cannot bear arms for a number of reasons in the Capitol, but also I can't permitlessly carry. And if I didn't have a Utah permit, I couldn't carry at all.
Well, the only concern I have is that and correct me if I'm wrong, is any Supreme Court decision where it says that Americans have been taken their rights to bear arms away from them since the Constitution was adopted way back when.
I'm speaking of the permitted carry.
No, yeah, but that's not the way you stated. That's what concerned me. That's fine.
No, I am talking
address it
about
that
when
way.
they required us to get a permit to carry.
We have never lost the right to bear arms in this country.
Senator, I will be respectful of your time and I will agree to disagree with you.
Okay.
That's fair.
Lastly, there are some communities, there are some cities, Dodge, unless they're lying to us on those shows where Matt Dillon makes sure that people check in their guns before going into a saloon or coming into town, register their guns so we'll know who's in town with guns, et cetera, et cetera. That also was the case in Texas at one time in our history, wasn't it?
I cannot speak to what was in our history 200 years ago.
But you did say, throughout our history, you stated history.
Yes, I said we've had long gun open carry. That has never been taken away. And if we're asking questions, am I wrong?
No, we'll stop right there.
Okay.
I just wanted to
Senator
well,
Lucio,
I'm gonna
happy to talk to you anytime.
oh yeah, no, I possess guns. I own rifles and guns.
I know.
And I want to make sure that I know how to use them, how to store them,
Absolutely.
how to make not leave them in a dangerous place where children can get to them and maybe have an accident.
I mean, my children were raised around firearms. My daddy taught me, his daddy taught him, and you just didn't touch them. It's a family tradition.
Sure.
So for many of us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Members, any other questions for Andy? All right, thank you for joining us today.